almost makes ground. He taps it back to shoulder. That's a goal. They've just got to sit here. It's as good as you'll ever see.
Hello, welcome to the fourth or fifth Bigfooty Blues podcast.
Whichever it is.
Which one it is, and there's some debate as to whether it's the fourth, whether it's the fifth, whether we actually even have a podcast at all.
Whether my pants are even on or off. I mean, what?
Well, I thought we established that earlier, that your pants were probably off. So,
yeah, maybe. I
with
don't know.
me, as always, as you can hear, devoid of caring, getting his words in early, and
As usual.
and that's all. Pretty much all he's
That's
going to
it.
say.
No,
For us,
I'll see you later, guys. I'm off.
and our third member of this motley crew, ODN. How are you guys?
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah, he took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, doing a lot better now, mate. Doing a lot better now. I just can I just make an impassioned apology to our loyal listener?
No, you cannot.
I can't. Oh, okay, wait. No, look, I just want to apologise for taking the week off. I know you guys missed us, but I assure you we do have a letter from Asada saying that everything's okay.
Drugs are good. Getting into the controversy early, and yeah, there's going to be some severe stuff going on there soon. I think.
Waiting with bated breath.
Aren't we all? Aren't
Something
we
like
all?
a paddle in the arse.
Now, since we last spoke, guys, we've beaten West Coast and we've beaten Adelaide.
Woo!
We're not going to dwell too long on the West Coast game. It was a good win. How did you see last weekend's game, Odeon?
I saw it through very happy eyes. Yaz and Jeff show yet again. Our little guy's doing it for us, and even though I was sad to see Bryce Gibbs go off with a bit of a strain to the hammy, well, what a great replacement. Seeing Eddie come back on.
It's always handy to have Eddie come on in the second half, isn't it?
Got a bit of a round of applause too, didn't he? The crowd were pretty stoked to see him. He's missed a little bit.
Our only reliable forward for the last 5 years, and it's always handy to have him back.
The game was a bit of a tale of our stoppers, really. Aside from the three amigos, Carazzo, Curnow, and Armfield. Putting the stoppers on Thompson, Sloan, and Dangerfield to a large extent, and when Dangerfield would try to throw off the tag going up forward, Tui he running through the middle pretty much. I'm very happy to see that.
Yeah, and what about the big men, like the big guys up forward and in the ruck? How did you? I mean, everyone was raving on about Warnock's performance and how good he was and how effective he was. And how poor Hampson was in like relative to that. How did you see the battle of the big men, as it were, going?
I thought you'd never ask. Waiting for this one, and all you guys listening are waiting for this one too, right? There's a bit going on this week.
Pay attention, people. This might get exciting.
Yeah, I've made some friends, and
not as many as I have over this issue. I'm sure.
No, well that's it, and I'll probably use you to some extent because you mentioned well first of all Hampson's become our latest whipping boy, and boy are they going hard. I think they're riding him all the way to the finish line of the Melbourne Cup.
Like a racehorse.
Oh, you're not right. Yeah, exactly, like a racehorse.
He'd be lapping people at the moment.
Like a rash.
Rob Waterhouse told me something about that anyway, but
more controversy.
Oh yeah, I'm hitting them hard and early now. But Hammer's copped a pasting because his stats were pretty poor, and he can't take a mark, he can't kick, he should be out of the side, and I wasn't so much sticking up for him as to just to let him know he did pretty well in round one. He was fairly accurate last year, but just going through that tape a little bit, and you'll be able to shed more light on this because you've gone through the whole game. But I just had a look at the first quarter, for example, and I don't think it was a genuine. He took a mark out on the lead, but I don't think there was a marking opportunity for Hampson in that whole first quarter, and he moved forward and into the ruck just in that first quarter that I watched on 2 or 3 occasions, and the ball was coming in. There would be 2 or 3 Adelaide defenders on him, and it was all he could do was just to get an arm up there and stop them from marking. So I'm thinking, I don't know how the rest of the game looked to you, but I'm thinking he's probably copped a little bit of a ordeal.
Well, I sat through the whole game last night and produced a bit of a video, basically featuring pretty much everything Hampson and Warnock did during the game, just to fuel the debate a little bit. Although the most amusing part of that video for me was actually finding the DuckTales theme and applying it to what I refer to as Rucktails, and now I can't hear the thing without hearing Rucktails.
He did he? Did Doc, did he just do that?
And unfortunately, when I do videos, half the fun is finding the backing track, and it's much like putting.
Movie. That's ridiculous.
It's much like putting. I've got 2 kids, and that's my excuse for everything.
Okay, yeah. Right.
Yeah, 2 kids. That's why I was watching cartoons. Anyway, look, my personal view is that Hampson's role as a forward is affected by the fact that we just can't kick to a forward. We can't kick in a meaningful way that puts a forward in an advantage unless they're running onto the ball, and I think we've had this problem for pretty much since Eddie Betts became our default go-to forward guy. We just haven't trusted anybody else with that kind of responsibility that makes him a focal point. And so Hampson in particular has suffered from this over the last 2 years. He did okay with it last year, but this year they're really... I mean, we've got all these great white hopes that have come onto the scene, like Casbolt and Rowe, and they're having the same problem that Hampson was having, in that no one's kicking to them, and when they are, like you look at Rowe in certain situations, yes, he's okay, and yes, he can get his body to the front, but he's got the same situation Hampson has, where he's got 3 or 4 guys hanging off him when the ball drops. I don't think Hampson was that bad. He was good at ground level. He laid a very good tackle, I think in the 3rd quarter. Got a holding the ball decision. Don't often see that from a big man. He got to the contest 90% of the time. Like, he wasn't ineffective, and his ruck work was good. I mean, if you have a look at his ruck tape, it was he rucked as well as Warnock did. He just didn't ruck as much, and so Warnock took the chocolates because he was basically rucking more. So moving along to this week's game, we've got Melbourne at the MCG for a variety of bewildering reasons, which apparently...
Don't you mean the buy? The buy round's starting out, don't they?
It would appear that this is a question of how much are we going to win by.
I'm sorry, Melbourne. I'm sorry.
Every time we have one of these games, I am reminded of 1995, where the only 2 games we lost for the year were against the 15th and 16th place sides in Sydney and St Kilda. So, do you take it for granted, or are we assuming we're going to flog these guys into the ground? Or, I mean, I wrote the preview for this for Bigfooty for our forum, and when I went to do key matchups, I couldn't even think of a Melbourne player that would actually trouble one of our defenders. Or I mean, Frawley is probably going to give Hampson a hard time up in defence, but... What
about that Chris Dawes fella? Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah, Dawes has never really troubled us at all, even when he played for Collingwood. I mean...
he was a good player for us.
It's probably better
Mitch Clark's out.
The team than not.
Yeah, Mitch Clark's out, so it's a I don't know.
I mean, J-Mo against Warnock is the only real competition that I can see, and I think Warnock will do pretty well against him. I can't see any way that Melbourne can propose any kind of challenge, really, especially on the MCG. I mean, we do play well on the MCG.
Yeah, for sure. I am reminded of the Gold Coast game last year. I did sit through that. I'll say this with 99% surety, but
Well, you know my philosophy on that Gold Coast game last year. We've discussed that already, and
yeah,
I don't think that's going to happen again this year.
yeah.
Surely not.
You got the conspiracy theories out.
I'm utterly convinced they threw that game. That is the players. But anyway, just head to head on this. Carlton have won 5, lost 0 in the last 5 matches we've played against them. Since 1980, we've won 30. Melbourne have won 22. All time, Carlton 115, Melbourne 88, and we've drawn twice. Last time we played them was in round 9, and we beat them by 58 points.
Some Brock McLean magic from memory.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
But you can see the highlights videos for that. They're all in the preview on the forum.
We've actually we actually haven't lost to them since the infamous Cruiser Cup in 2007. So the last 6 games, averaging 115 for and 63 against. So they don't score against us very well. It's pretty highlights that we've got the defenders to hold whatever the minimal forwards that they do have.
Must have the defenders take a day off. We'll just have everyone forward.
We'll just rest them.
No,
We'll
don't even
rest
worry
them.
about putting them on. We'll just have everyone out forward. Have the midfield there. That's it.
Send Jamison home for the game. Bring Watson
Yeah, just
in.
take out that back 6. We'll be right.
Rest Henderson. Bring in McCarthy for his first game of the year.
I might jump on there for a round.
Let's not flirt with our form too much.
ODN and I are going to line up forward.
Yeah, so we don't have to run very far.
Yeah, I'm going to play the Tony Lockett style full forward. Which brings me to the article that was in the Herald Sun, just saying that in the 80s, when we tried to buy North Melbourne, we apparently also tried to buy St Kilda at one point to try and get Tony Lockett across, which I found was an interesting discussion. Apparently, Rod Pays, the former St Kilda president, brings that up in his book.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we tried to buy we tried to buy
look,
St Kilda at one point. Told them not to pay their debt.
Yeah. Oh, okay. When you're walking past the shop and you see things in the bargain basement bin, it's very hard to say no, you know?
Well, apparently they were $2 million in debt, and John Elliott went in there and said, look, don't pay your debt, we'll buy you out, we'll get Tony Lockett, woohoo! But, yeah, I remember when we tried to buy North Melbourne briefly that clubs were freaked out over the list we might have had with, Carey and Kernahan in the same side. I imagine they would have had a similar freak out if we'd ended up with Lockett, Lowe, and Kernahan in the same side. Yeah, I can't see that going down too well. Just a reminder too, if you're watching this game in Perth, it will not be on free-to-air TV this weekend. You'll be getting some crap game featuring one of those crap Perth teams.
Serve yourself right, move to Melbourne.
Yeah, so that's it. So, I guess it's a short week in terms of news for the club. ODN, you got anything else?
Just noted we had a thread on there during the week where board director Ryan Trainer did a Q&A, and the club came on and let us know that was on, and there's a couple of interesting discussion points to come out of that Q&A. One being some sort of major announcement re-recruiting to be made within the next 48 hours, so that's within the next 24 hours now. I'm just wondering what that might be. And next year, a special 150th anniversary Guernsey to be worn during the year. And it'd be interesting to see. Some talk of going back to the retro CFC. It just sort of stood out as something to look forward to.
Unless we're going to start wearing the old chamois and navy blue with the very old monogram, I'm not interested, to be honest. Lace up front, that's what I want. I want all that.
You want to go all the way back?
Well, you know, that's what heritage is to me.
Yeah. How old are you again?
Let's not talk about that.
How old do Wookiees live for?
They get quite old, actually. Not even going to discuss that because that'll reveal how big a nerd I am. So I guess that brings us to the segment that we've all been waiting for, and that's Ask Doc.
Woo!
Oh, yes.
So, what do you got for us, Doc? Any questions?
Hold on. I haven't checked yet.
Oh, jeez.
I remember there was some there. Don't worry, there is some there. I'm getting to it. Ask Doc. Here we go. Open it up now.
Yes.
I'll just do a running commentary of what I'm doing because we've got nothing else to talk about.
All right, well, look, I've got it open already because I'm prepared.
Oh, well, there you go. See, you wasted my time here.
So I know you've got questions.
Yeah, I know there was a couple there.
And,
I know there was a couple.
The first question is from Space Cow.
Oh, not this guy again.
And he would like to know the following. Is it true that the fiscal saving you make in buying E10 petrol as opposed to regular is actually offset by the fact that you get less mileage out of E10, therefore it is actually less efficient and you are making little money savings, if any?
Yes.
I knew it!
Anyway, that'll do us. Time to sign off, lads.
All right,
Thanks again, ODN.
I missed you guys terribly for
You all guys going to bed?
So
I'm out after this. So.
Bloody softies.
Not me, mate. I'll be out drinking very, very shortly. This is my night off work, so. Thanks again, Doc, for your valued and sincere contributions to the podcast.
I'm here every week.
E10 fuel, got that.
E10.
Got it? Check. Yes.
Your fuel advice is well noted and short and sweet.
Can you say you want it short and sweet?
I look forward to you hosting Q&A next year, and
might as well. I've already got one drunk on there.
Well, aren't they all?
Oh no, that's 360.
I thought that was just a prerequisite to get on there.
Oh, maybe it is. Maybe you got to do some of those Essendon. Maybe some of Essendon's get in that supply cabinet and see what else happens.
All right. Well, from me, it'll be a good night, and we'll see you next week, where we will hopefully be a little bit more organised than we were this week.
Comes almost, Max Browning takes it back to Sheldon, it's a goal! Just got to sit here.